Are you tired of being forced to choose between becoming an undamageable wall of tank or a damage-dealing HP-shattering assassin? Say no more, friends, because the fix to all of your problems is finally here.
Demacia!
That's right, you know who I'm talking about. Alright, let's talk about why Garen is so stupidly good and fun for a minute. Well, it's important to understand that win percentages with a champion don't for sure mean that they're necessarily good or bad, but just look at how good his percentages are. I mean, it's crazy. What the? Skarner? What in the Teemo nipples do you think you're doing at 63%? How are you even doing that well? Last I checked, you weren't even a good champion. Whatever, I'm sure Can of Raid or something is probably a hard counter to you. Back to Garen. Garen is tanky, full of damage, fast, hard to chase, rude, an asshole in lane, able to sustain himself so well that it makes an ulting Mundo jealous, so easy to learn he has a skill cap lower than America's standards for what can be considered a legitimate presidential candidate, and most importantly,
Demacia!
is Demacian. Garen's first move is Decisive Strike. When activated, Garen's Q ends all slows that are currently on him, and increases his movement speed by 35%, and makes his next auto attack hit with extra damage while also silencing the target for a second and a half. And all of this is being bundled into a non-skill shot move on an 8-second cooldown. I have no idea how beating someone with a big sword would ever silence them. If anything, if someone was just hit by a giant sword like his, they'd do the exact opposite, scream in agonizing pain. You know, the exact opposite of being silent. But to top it all off, this is one of the last remaining reliable silences in the game, with Kassadin and Talon's silences both being removed, both of which also made more sense, too. Kassadin would use voodoo-y void magic to keep his target silenced, and Talon would just, you know, cut their throat open. Both of which would keep their target silenced, and it made more sense than Garen's, but yeah, giant sword to the face, that's gonna keep him quiet. His W isn't anything too amazing, it has a passive and activate effect. The passive gives him armor and magic resist as he kills stuff up to a cap of 30, and the activate makes him ignore 30% of the damage that he takes for a few seconds. It can make him really hard to kill, but it's kinda boring as far as the skill goes, and is anything but flashy. It's still pretty effective though, I mean, 30% damage, it's like tank. It's just tank, wall of tank. Can't be anything but tank. It's always nice to be tank. His E, yes. Oh yes, his E. This is where Garen starts to get fun. Garen's E is Spin to Win. Once activated, Garen transforms into a merry-go-round with a sword sticking off of it, thrown into overdrive while it's on fire, causing him to do damage to everything in the surrounding area. It can be deactivated early to reduce its cooldown, and if only one enemy is being hit while he's doing it, they all take extra damage. Also, somehow it can crit, right? Oh, and it makes Darius jealous whenever he sees it.
How's he do it?
Before talking about his passive and his ult, there's something that's worth mentioning. There are 5 things that every Garen hates. Number 1, Teemos. Number 2, lists. Number 3, irony. Number 4, black people. Number 5, racism. Number 6, people who can't count. Number 7, people who repeat themselves. Number 9, people who skip numbers. And number 10, people who repeat themselves. Word of warning, if Garen has to deal with any of these 10 things in the middle of one of his games, he'll probably flame, feed, and troll. Get it? Cause they're all trolls? All Garens are trolls? Actually, all League players are trolls? Everyone is a troll? Literally everyone. It's really just best to assume that every teammate you have is trying to ruin your day until they prove otherwise. It'll improve the game for you. Garen's ult is... well, Garen's ult is the thing that makes Garen, Garen. Katarina, my love, there is but one thing my heart truly yearns for. his ult is a giant sword that falls down out of the sky and punishes anyone stupid enough to get near him when they're low on health. Its visual effect also distorts reality and blinds you as the player, like you personally, not your champion. Your screen will have the same effect on you as your cell phone does at 4 AM when you go to check it for any reason. You know how you're completely blinded by the light? Yeah, that's Garen's ult. Plus, whatever player is doing the best on the enemy team will be marked as his main villain. Any champions marked as a villain will also take true damage from all of Garen's attacks, including his ult. If you're dominating a team with a Garen on it, be prepared for him to go down on you like an angry white mom who doesn't get her way at McDonald's.
I want a Whopper right now, and I want to speak to your manager!
Lady, we don't got no damn Whoppers at McDonald's. That's Burger King, you overweight, ungrateful piece of shit banshee! I'm sorry, I don't even work there and those kind of customers still get to me. Garen's passive is superhuman regeneration. After being out of combat for a few seconds, his health regen practically octuples or something stupid like that. Did that last team fight go badly? Take a 10-second breather in the jungle and charge back out to play cleanup crew. Pushing a turret and there aren't any minions nearby to help tank it for you? Who cares? Just beat on it until you're low health, then run away and sit in a bush for a few seconds. Rinse and repeat until the enemy tries to stop you or the tower breaks. With a champion like Garen, some people will claim that you're playing a freeload champion, or that he has no skill, or that he's OP, and to be fair, they aren't exactly wrong. It's best just to play along with it, try to have a good time, and remember what I said about every player actually trying to be a troll until proven otherwise. Garen was at a restaurant the other day, and he asked the waiter for a glass of water. They asked if he wanted a slice of lemon in it or something, and he said no. I'll have just ice. You get it? Because it's just and ice and it's comedy. It's comedy, everyone. I'm sorry, I can't end the video on that. Here's a dance my dog does whenever he wants attention.